Well, of course, the significance of this visit cannot be overestimated. When we talk of the overseas Filipino workers, the first thing that comes to mind is the Middle East, especially here in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the other GCC countries. And for this visit, this will be the first for our head of state in 8 years. And we have also had visit in 8 years, and he will be meeting with His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of Bahrain. They will have after the welcome ceremonies, they will have a bilateral talks, and they will be signing some agreements, 5 to 6 agreements. Then after that, there will be a banquet in honor of the President hosted by King Hamad. And this will also signal the renewal of our already close ties with Bahrain, and hopefully elevate it to greater heights, especially now as we would like to position the Philippines as Bahrain and the region's gateway to Asia and ASEAN and Asia. At the same time, Bahrain as the gateway for Philippines into eastern province of Saudi Arabia, and the greater GCC. Bilateral relations began in 1978, so we are celebrating the 40th year next year. Bahrain used to be covered by our embassy in Riyadh, and later it was the need to establish an embassy, resident embassy, was recognized. So in the growing importance of Bahrain, it was realized that we need a resident embassy here. In 1992, we established the Philippine Embassy in Manama, Bahrain. I am now the 7th resident ambassador, and we continue, and we're striving hard to elevate our relations with Bahrain. Well, one is objective of the visit is, of course, to promote our partnerships, recognizing the importance of the overseas Filipino workers, and I am sure King Hamad will say that how Filipino workers here are treated very well. They're very welcome. We have around 60,000 Filipino workers in Bahrain, scattered in practically all employment categories. They have a third in the professionals and another third in services, semi-skilled and skilled workers, and another third, about less than 20,000 household service workers. And we want to nurture and elevate these overseas Filipino workers as partners, and they're practically the best examples of our best ambassadors here. So there are 60,000 Filipino goodwill ambassadors here in Bahrain. There will also be a business forum. It will be hosted by, it will be at the Capital Club of Bahrain, and it's the prime CEO and bankers club here in the kingdom, and eminent business persons will be there. They will listen to a presentation from our economic team on possible investments, mutual opportunities for economics, exchanges, trade and investment, even tourism. And the President will grace that event and hopefully meet also the eminent businessmen here in Bahrain. And after that, he will proceed to the much-awaited Filipino community event. It will be held at the Khalifa Sports Stadium. Thousands of Filipinos have already registered and are eagerly awaiting to see and hear the President speak to them. Yes, we've lined up 5 agreements. First is the establishment of the High Joint Commission, which will be the forum and the mechanism where the entire range of our relationships, the relationship between Bahrain and the Philippines, will be discussed. And we have an amendment to our double taxation agreement. We have another amendment to our air services agreement. We have a memorandum of understanding between the Foreign Service Institute of the Philippines and the Diplomatic Institute of the Bahrain Forest Ministry. In addition to that, there's a private agreement, business investment agreement between a company in Bahrain and a company in the Philippines. Well, this will, of course, further strengthen our already very close and warm relations with Bahrain, relations between the Bahraini people and the Filipinos, and especially the overseas Filipino workers. Will reaffirm our support and our commitment for their protection of their rights and welfare. Capital Club is the venue, and it's a club where all the top bank presidents, company CEOs are all members, no? So they will be on hand, and they are also very eager to look at what we have to offer to them in terms of possible investment and trade opportunities that they can see in the Philippines. Well, as you know, Bahrain is one of the first to diversify its economy, and it has diversified from just an oil and gas economy into financial services. It's one of the leaders in Islamic banking, and I think that's one area that will be of great opportunity for the Philippines. We want to present to them our efforts in halal certification, halal tourism. Maybe that could spur more exchanges, tourists from this region, not just Bahrain, but from the entire the growing Islamic tourism industry to go to see the Philippines. And we can offer some of our agricultural land for their investment and to secure for food security and other services in the financial sector. Bahrain is small, no? There are around 60,000 Filipinos in the whole kingdom. They're in all categories, and as I say, there's a saying here that Bahrain is small, but it's a big heart, and Bahrain is small, but it punches big, no? So even the Filipinos here, no, as compared to the other communities, they're small, but they're always in the top 20 in the as a remittance sending country to the Philippines. In fact, in 2014, they were even number 19, beating out bigger countries with about over 8 billion pesos remittances. They're very well treated here. Many have their families here, and many, as you know, Bahrain is open and very tolerant society. There are many churches here of all other denominations, a big Catholic church, so they're free to just enjoy the beauty also and what Bahrain has to offer. When they first heard news that the president was coming, of course, sabik na sila, no? Everyone's so eager to meet him. As you know, in the 2016 overseas voting, the president won landslide victory, 76%, and in fact, Bahrain, in relative terms, in the number of voters who registered here in Bahrain, the turnout was the highest in the GCC, 41%, and from that 41%, 76% gave him an overwhelming and decisive victory. So, as in all other OFW communities all over the world, are eagerly awaiting his visit. We're very fortunate we were able to, get a fairly big venue. Hopefully, you can accommodate as many as those who want, and we know many want to come see him, and they're just so anxious and excited to hear direct from him his programs, his plans for the workers here, for their welfare, for their protection, and of course what they look forward to in the Philippines under his administration. The situation in Bahrain for overseas workers is very good. They're fairly treated, they're well respected, they're in top level professionals, even household service workers are very fairly treated. But still, we strive, to provide them. We are very fortunate that even the number of cases and issues that we have here very low. The number is very low, and we have, with the help of the Filipino organizations, we conduct almost every week. There's a training, there's a seminar here, not just to help them improve their qualifications here, but more importantly, even to help them when they eventually plan to return and reintegrate back to the Philippine economy. Our partners in the Bahraini government, in the labor and employment sector, are also very close in helping us, and they are one of the more progressive in implementing and labor policies, and they're in fact the pioneers in some of the labor regulations that are imposed here in the Gulf. Mga mahal kong kababayan, ito na po ang pinakahihintay natin, pagkakataon, makita at madinig. Personal ang ating mahal na Pangulo, lalong-lalo na sa mga Pilipino dito sa Bahrain. Kayo po aming kasama at kaagapay ng embahada sa pagsulong ng ating mga programa at iparating natin sa ating mahal na Pangulo ang ating sa ating araw-araw na pagtahak ng ating buhay dito, ating mga personal at nahangarin at aspirasyon para sa ating mga sarili, sa ating mga pamilya. Napakita natin sa Pangulo at para ito ay lalo pang mapaigting at maparami sa ilalim ng kanyang pamumuno.